Hi guys, in this video we are going to talk about how to consolidate data in Excel. So we can consolidate data from multiple workbooks, or we can consolidate the data from different worksheets in a single workbook. We actually have an Excel inbuilt function for that, and that is consolidate. So here I am using 3 workbooks to consolidate the data. Here is workbook number 1, which is 1101A, which is consolidate data using Excel inbuilt function. This is book 1. Second book is this one, which is B, and the third one is C. So here, if I look at all these workbooks, we have different data into it. Looks similar, but it has some different content into it. You can see the product ID, then you can see January, February and March. If I go to the next workbook, it is again in the same order. But if I go to the next workbook, you can see that it is not in the same order. It is shuffled. Same goes for these product IDs. If you look at it closely, you will find one thing. In one workbook, you have all the product IDs. In another workbook, you can have some of the product IDs. So one product ID may be available in all the 3 workbooks. Some ID is only in one workbook. So these things, but altogether the data is in a similar format. Now if I have workbook like 3 or 30 workbooks, I need to consolidate the data into one workbook. So the option is consolidate. For that, I need to first open a new workbook in which I need the result. So to open up the new workbook, I am using a shortcut on my keyboard, that is Control N. And there we go, we have this new workbook in front of us. Now I'll put my cursor on A1, let it be on A1, and I'll go to Data tab at the very top. Under the Data tab on the right hand side, which is the Data Tools group, we have an option which is Consolidate. This option is there in 2007, 2010, 2013 and even 2016 also. Reference, and I'll go to the very first workbook, which is 1101A, and I'll select the complete data including the heading of the data. And when I'm done, I'll click over here and I'll click on Add, so that this range will get added into my All References box. Then we'll click it again and we'll go to the next workbook, which is B, and we'll select this range completely again in the same manner. We'll click on it again and we'll click on Add. Now we'll click on it and I'll remove it and I'll go to the last workbook and I'll select the database in the same manner. Then I'll click it again and I'll click on Add. Similarly, if we have some more references, we can add accordingly. Now 2 more things. Use labels in, which is top row or left column. This means that top row, you can see that by telling the Excel use labels in, it means that you want Excel to consider the top row and left column, because you know that in our case right now the heading is shuffling. And the same goes for the product IDs also. These are not in the same order in all the 3 workbooks, and even some product IDs are in all the 3 workbooks and some are not. So that's why I would really want Excel to consider both top row and left column and adjust the data accordingly and put the correct data under the correct heading. The last thing is create links to source data. If I check this, the consolidated data will be in the form of a link and the data will be there. It will help us to jump to the precedent value in the workbook. If I'll not check this, we are going to have the hard numbers with us. We're not able to track down that which value is coming from which workbook. That is why it is favorable to check it. So in future, if I'll change something in those workbooks, the consolidated data will get changed automatically. Now we'll press OK. And there we go. It processed the data and if I go to this book 4, you can see the process data is there in front of us, and it is in the form of an outline. It is grouped already. So let me expand it, and you can see it is like this. So this is consolidated data. This is actually, you can see the sum formula is placed over there. Now if I expand it, I can expand it one by one, you can see over here, or I can click on this 2 and every part of this will get expanded, and I can see now that which data is coming from which workbook. These names are there. Second thing, if I click on the data point, I can see that it is coming from this very workbook and this very cell. And you can see that product ID, which is A402, is only in workbook B. And similarly, the case with 407 is present in only in C, but 401 is there in all the 3 workbooks. That is why we have the data and we have the total one. If you just need to see the summary of the data, we'll click on this 1, and there we go. We can have the consolidated data in front of us. I hope you got the idea. Now go ahead and open the next 3 workbooks in the folder which I have given you. Now go ahead and open the next 3 workbooks. These are the practice workbooks that are there in the exercise folder, and let's do that. First try to do that, then come to the next video in which I explain how to do that. Thank you.